Hey there, history buffs! Today we're diving headfirst into the story of America, and it all starts with, you guessed it, the British. Picture this. The year is 1607 and a ship called the Godspeed just dropped anchor in what we now call Virginia. This wasn't a casual visit though, these folks were here to stay, establishing the very first permanent English settlement in North America, Jamestown. Life in Jamestown wasn't all sunshine and roses. Imagine battling harsh weather, disease, and even starvation. It was tough, but these early colonists were determined to carve out a life for themselves in this new land. And let's not forget the indigenous people who already called this land home. The relationship between the colonists and Native Americans was complex, to say the least, marked by both cooperation and conflict. The arrival of the Pilgrims on the Mayflower in 1620 added another layer to this story. Seeking religious freedom, they landed in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and guess what? They brought along their own set of values and ideas, further shaping the cultural landscape of this emerging nation. These early settlements, fueled by dreams of opportunity and a better life, were just the beginning. Little did they know they were laying the foundation for a nation that would one day shake the world.
Fast forward a bit, and those initial settlements blossomed into 13 distinct colonies, each with its own personality and quirks. From the bustling port cities of the north to the sprawling plantations of the south, these colonies were like 13 siblings. Different, but undeniably connected. Up north, it was all about trade and industry. Think bustling ports, shipyards humming with activity and skilled craftsmen. Think Boston, New York, Philadelphia, the powerhouses of their time. Down south, life revolved around agriculture. Vast plantations dominated the landscape, producing cash crops like tobacco, rice, and indigo that fueled the colonial economy. Life in the colonies wasn't all work and no play. People found time for religious gatherings, lively markets, and even a bit of theatre, but let's not forget, this was a time when slavery cast a dark shadow over the colonies, particularly in the south. As the colonies grew, so did their sense of identity. They were British, yes, but they were also developing their own unique character, shaped by the challenges and opportunities of life in a new world. For a while, things seemed pretty chill between Great Britain and its American colonies, but cracks were starting to show. See, Britain needed money. Wars are expensive, you know, so they looked to the colonies for a little financial boost. Enter a series of acts, the Sugar Act, the Stamp Act, the Townshend Acts, that levied taxes on everything from sugar and molasses to tea and even legal documents. Now, the colonists weren't exactly thrilled about these new taxes. They argued that they had no say in these matters, no representation in the British Parliament. This cry of no taxation without representation became a rallying cry, a symbol of colonial discontent. The colonists felt they were being treated like cash cows, and they weren't about to stand for it. Section 4. The Flames of Dissent, from Massacre to Revolution. Tensions were simmering, and it wasn't long before things boiled over. In 1770, a street brawl in Boston between colonists and British soldiers escalated into a bloody confrontation. The Boston Massacre, as it came to be known, left 5 colonists dead and became a powerful symbol of British oppression. Fast forward to 1773, and we have another iconic event, the Boston Tea Party. A group of colonists, disguised as Native Americans, boarded British ships and dumped chests of tea into the harbour in protest of the Tea Act. This act of defiance was a turning point, a clear signal that the colonists were ready to fight for their rights. Section 5. A Continental Union forging a path to independence. In response to growing tensions, representatives from the colonies decided it was time to talk. They gathered in Philadelphia in 1774 for the First Continental Congress. This was a big deal, colonies uniting, sharing their grievances, and trying to find a peaceful solution. They sent a list of demands to King George III, hoping to smooth things over, but the king wasn't having it. He declared the colonies in rebellion, and well, that's when things really escalated. By the time the Second Continental Congress convened in 1775, the Revolutionary War had already begun. The colonists were no longer just protesting, they were fighting for their independence. Section 6. The Declaration of Independence, a nation's cry for freedom. On July 4th, 1776, the Continental Congress made history. They adopted the Declaration of Independence, a document that boldly declared that the 13 colonies were now free and independent states. Penned by Thomas Jefferson, this document wasn't just a list of grievances, it was a powerful statement of Enlightenment ideals, proclaiming the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It was a shot heard around the world, inspiring revolutions and movements for centuries to come. Section 7. The American Revolution, a nation born through fire. The Declaration of Independence was a bold move, but it was just the beginning. The colonists now had to fight tooth and nail to defend their newfound freedom. The American Revolution was a long and bloody struggle, pitting the underdog colonists against the might of the British Empire. From the battlefields of Lexington and Concord to the decisive victory at Yorktown, the colonists, led by brilliant military minds like George Washington, proved their determination and resilience. They faced setbacks and hardships, but their belief in their cause never wavered. And guess what? They had help. France, eager to stick it to their old rival Britain, lent a crucial hand, providing much-needed supplies and military support. In the end, the colonists emerged victorious, securing their independence and forever altering the course of history. The American Revolution wasn't just about breaking free from British rule. It was about establishing a new form of government, one based on the principles of liberty, equality, and self-governance.